We are back. Hi, we're back with Uncanny Adventures, Call of Cthulhu, Reign of Terror. This is what will probably be our penultimate episode, second to last. Next time we play, could be the end of the world. But we're back with our intrepid investigators, and we're going to go around and have them say hello before we jump back into the action. So, how about we start with Scott? And I just realized I have to move you into the right box, Scott, because you're not you, and nobody's themselves right now. Everybody's crazy. So I'm just going to move everybody around. But you can introduce while I move everybody.
I don't know which way you're pulling my box. Okay, so hi, I'm Scott. I am Christophe Pressi, and imagine I'm Leonardo DiCaprio from Titanic, but he's French during the French Revolution. That's pretty much my character.
And Jamey, why don't you tell us who you are today?
I'm Jamey. I'm Etienne Babin, who we discovered is the Velma of the Scooby Gang.
My hand. I dropped my hand.
I can't do anything without my hand.
That's very true. And Dylan.
Hi, I'm Dylan, and I'm playing Jean Dupois, who's a 50-plus-year-old drunkard with a dog and nothing to live for. So,
Aww, Dupois.
Well, that just took a dark turn.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
enjoys
now,
long walks on the beach.
and now everybody should actually be in their right boxes after you've introduced yourselves and we've discovered who we all actually are. So, oops. So yes, we're back with our Reign of Terror adventure. When last we met, the group had been in search of, they discovered some information from an ancient tome that their friend the ghoul had acquired for them. And they were looking for Dietrich Zahn and the woman who had been with him in Count Funnelic's house 5 years ago. So the party split up. Pressi and Melody went in search of them in one area of France, while Babin and Dupois searched for them elsewhere. Eventually, they were able to track down some information, which led them to an attic apartment somewhere near the theater district of Paris. And they made their way upstairs and knocked at the door of the attic residence. The door opened to a familiar face from 5 years ago. And when Celine saw the investigators standing on her doorstep, remembering the night at Count Funnelic's, remembering her arrest afterward, she wasn't exactly happy to see them. And with a scream in Babin's face as he stood in the doorway with his comrades coming up the stairs behind him, she reached for the nearest item on the table in order to, what appears to be, to bludgeon him with it. So, first thing I want you guys to tell me is, what are your dexterities?
45.
50.
I am 70.
Ooh, you're old.
Actually, he's very fast.
Back in my day, we didn't use random things on the table. We just used the table.
That may very well be
No,
true.
don't joke about that. A table attacked us yesterday.
I know. That's why I joked it. That thing was stronger than a sun sword. Tell you what.
All right, so in this moment, the door is opened. Celine looks at you, Babin. She shrieks at the top of her lungs, backpedals. The little toddler who had poked his head around at her feet, his eyes go wide in surprise. He cries and he runs and hides behind a chair by the kitchen table. But Pressi, you are in the hallway behind Babin as this woman lets out this shrill shriek in a panic. What do you do?
So she's got something in her hand, like a...
Yeah, her hand, she reaches for the table and she like picks up, looks like she's got maybe a rolling pin that she grabs and she's coming up with it.
He was probably going to say something, but then seeing her going immediately to violence after we were so nice to her before and didn't, shoot her or worse at the mansion. Gave our best word as possible for her on the arrest, so her sentence would be minimal, and not a dungeon for life or whatever. would be in this area. He's going to try to disarm her, I guess.
Okay.
If he can.
So I will let you. You can either roll, like a brawl to try to grab a hold and disarm her, or you can do it. If it's better, you can use an intimidate to try to get her to drop what she's coming at Babon with. Whichever is better, whichever you think is more appropriate for Pressi.
I think brawl is actually better. Is that a skill? Would that say?
Yeah, it would be a fighting brawl.
Oh, yeah, much better. Okay, let's do that.
All right, so you go out. She attempts, as you come through the door around Babon, she sees you coming and attempts to, she's trying to get out of the way of you grabbing for her. But she does not. You manage to get your hand, like, around her wrist and sort of hold her fast. And she's like, let me go, let me go.
We only want to talk.
Make a persuasion roll. Or you're being nice, so make a persuasion.
Yeah, I don't have fun. Please don't make me fast talk. He's surprisingly not good at fast talk. Oh, he's even worse at persuade. Hooray.
Oh, well,
hey, let's do a 16.
nice.
She says, you arrested us, you put us, you and your men, you took us into custody. You could have let us go. All we wanted was to escape. Have you come back to finish the job? And the little boy is crying behind the table. Babon, what are you doing as this is happening?
I'm gonna come into the room a little bit with my cane that I stole off the old prostitute. Yeah, I forgot about it too until we were doing the recap. I was like, oh right, I have that cane.
Hey, that toots.
How you doing, sweetie? I'm gonna come in and like hold both my hands up and kind of building off where Pressi said, be like, we don't mean you any harm. We want to talk. That's all.
All right.
We're not even with the military anymore.
You can attempt to persuade her as well.
No.
She's looking back and forth wildly. She looks over her shoulder, and both of you are now in the room, and you can see, you see Dietrich. He's on the other side of the room. There's a bed kind of between you all and where he is. His back is to you while this is all happening. He hasn't reacted to her scream or to any of this happening. He's just sort of facing the wall, and his hands seem to be moving in front of him, back and forth a little bit. But he seems completely oblivious to what is going on right now. So, Celine still seems like she is terrified, so she is going to try to pull away from you, Pressi. So, she is going to roll her own fighting brawl to shove you off. Yeah, so you can roll, which, yeah, she tries to pull away. You don't even have to roll.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
And so you have a firm grasp on her. Dupois. What do you want to do?
I'm probably going to walk inside and close the door behind us.
All right, Bonaparte runs in before you close it.
Yeah, well, of course. You know, just so, like, if she does make it out of the hold and, like, tries to run, you know, she can't just run down the hallway screaming. And then I'm probably going to go over to Dietrich and I guess I'll wave my hand, like, in front of his face to see if he's, like, just out of it or what.
All right, so you, as Babon and Pressi are dealing with Celine, Bonaparte runs over to the little toddler who's crying, and he's still crying, but he does that little, like, puppy, and Bonaparte starts licking him, and the little boy, like, is crying but petting Bonaparte at the same time, but it quiets him enough, like, he's not getting hysterical anymore.
Bonaparte, now, get him!
Eat the baby, no. So you make your way around the bed, and you step up next to where Dietrich is, and you kind of wave your hand in front of his face, And he says something, it's almost inaudible, but he says, I must get it out. Then we can be happy again. And he at this point he does sort of turn and indicate like Celine and the baby with a hand before he turns back toward the wall and his hands start moving back and forth in front of him again.
He's doing like a playing motion, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You also notice in the corner, like off to one side, because he's not holding a violin or any instrument, you see the pieces of a shattered violin in the corner of the room. And Celine, seeing you over by him, she says, stay away from him. Leave him alone.
We need to ask him about something.
He's in no fit state to answer your questions.
Well, maybe you are then. Something that happened at Finnick's mansion.
You see when you say that name, like her eyes go wide and she sort of quiets and she kind of goes like Pressi. You feel her stop kind of pulling and the rolling pin drops from her hand and hits the floor. She just stares over at Dupois. What?
How to explain this? Oh boy. To probably just sort of sit down on the bed and say, he's a musician, isn't he?
She looks at you and she says, yes, he was.
Can he still play?
She says, I shattered the violin. It's no good for him.
Why is that?
Because he's like this. He was all right when he still worked in the theater, but ever since he lost his job, it has only gotten worse. And as you're like standing there and talking to her, you notice like the plaster walls of the by Razan is. It looks like they've been sort of like there's big patches torn out, but it looks like there like may have been writing on the wall before it was like ripped apart.
Okay.
Are we still in turns?
No,
Marking?
you can do something now that
Okay.
she's focused attention on Dupois.
When she dropped the rolling pin and stuff, he lets her go and stuff.
She collects the little boy up and she says, it's all right, Autonomous. It's all right. It's okay. He's like, Puppy. Puppy?
His name's Bonaparte.
Bobapart.
Aw. Dupois doesn't do that, but I do.
Dupois probably looks frustrated, like, no, that's not it.
Dupois probably like reaches for his pistol for a moment and it's like, nah.
Not yet.
Not today.
Oh, I was thinking he would reach for a flask and he realizes he doesn't have it on him anymore.
I know, I don't have... so sad.
Oh god, he lost his alcohol.
It's the end of the world, I told you.
Yeah.
So, Dupois, since you're standing over there, you can roll me a spot hidden.
Sure. Nope.
All right, so you can't really discern what the markings are, but you can just see that there are markings left on the piece of the wall that weren't gouged out or scratched away.
I mean, I think I have an idea, but yeah.
She says, what do you want? You're not doing anyone any good being here.
We want to stop this as I motion my hand over at him playing at nothing with no instrument. We're trying to save him and you and everyone.
Can you save Dietrich?
Yes. We can, as I look over at everybody. You guys probably has a slight worry in his face. But then he looks back at her and says, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to help us in this state.
Well, I don't know how to get him to stop.
He said he had to get it out.
No, I will not let him play that awful thing.
No?
That's a good idea.
We don't know what it's going to do yet.
I smashed his violin. He can't play anyway.
What did the... Actually, Dupois doesn't probably remember either, so he probably asks, what did the book say about music?
So, Melody, who slipped in alongside Pressi,
Thank God.
she holds up the book and she says, I have the book.
I believe the song needs to be played for it to finish.
Mm-hmm.
She says, well, it said something about, and she, it was, only the music can exorcise the supreme being, and a martyr who has heard the music must offer themselves as sacrifice.
So it sounds like he has to play it near Regault?
He
Or do we
has
have to wait for the thing to show up and then play it?
I think we have to hear his song.
And one of us has to martyr ourselves.
I wish I hadn't given that old lady my alcohol.
Has he played the song to?
She says, I broke that violin before he could ever play the music. None have heard his music.
Mm.
What
I
can
don't
we
know
do?
where they get a violin.
What can we do to convince you to let us listen to his song once? And then that's it. After that, we're out of your hair. We're gone.
What will listening to this awful, awful music, what will it do?
It will end something that started the night that we killed Count Fenelek.
And from the looks of it, it'll help relieve some tension as he looks over at him.
Mm-hmm.
She looks at him, she looks at you all, and I need someone to make either a charm or persuade roll. Since you guys are all helping, I'll give whoever makes the roll a bonus to it. So you get a bonus die.
My persuade's a 50.
Oh,
Charm,
wow.
55.
Mine are both 15, so it's not going to be me.
Yeah, you can charm with the advantage because that'll give us a slightly better shot at it.
Okay. He says with the advantage, your child needs a father. It's not a father like this.
Boom.
So she looks at you and she says, I don't think it will help him. I think it's a terrible idea. As you needed a hard success to...
Of course.
Of course we did.
Damn it.
So you all see, like, she seems set, like she doesn't want him to play this.
Is it only if he plays it around you? What if we take him somewhere else?
I don't think that's her concern.
I'm afraid that it will do more harm than good.
Well, we don't have a choice.
Well, I will not leave Dietrich's side. Whatever happens to Dietrich happens to me.
Well, if we don't listen to it, you're both going to get the same fate.
Do you want to try to intimidate her, Babon?
I mean, that wasn't really much of intimidation, but sure. Like, that wasn't his intention behind it. But
Grr.
I'm...
I'll try.
It's like starting to get antsy, too.
Yeah, I got a success.
Not a hard success.
But not
though.
a hard.
She says, he doesn't even have an instrument. He can't play without an instrument anyway.
Then we'll get one.
We'll get one.
I think this is a terrible idea.
Well, no one cares what you think. We have to do this.
It's either we
Wait.
listen to the song or the whole world ends. Your choice.
Well,
What would you be willing to do to keep your husband and your child safe? Would you be willing to sacrifice yourself for that?
I would do anything to protect them, and especially. And she picks up Hieronymus again and rubs his head. Especially my boy.
I look at everybody. You guys probably know what I'm thinking.
I think I know what you're thinking. Yeah.
Wait, no. She hasn't heard the song. She stops him before
She's not.
Yeah. None of it. No one has heard the full song. And that whole thing about the song has to exercise the supreme being. I feel like something else needs to hear it. Like the way it was worded made me think that like it has to be played in front of Regald or whatever this thing is in order to work.
Well, what was it? Someone has to martyr themselves who's heard it.
So the song is going to exercise the supreme being. Someone who's heard the full song has to martyr themselves to stop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like just playing it in this attic is going to do anything to exercise the supreme being.
Did he have more than just that violin? Did he have music sheets?
You see her glance at the walls that are now in
That's what I thought.
That's what I figured it was.
At that point, now Pressi's examining the walls. Can he do a spot hidden?
Yeah,
Yes.
Babon was going to go look over at them now too.
You both can look.
Yeah.
Yeah, you both.
Ooh, critical.
You look and Pressi.
Hey, cockroach walked like this exact track. I can see the cockroach trail.
And Babon, you know that it's definitely small musical notes in a pattern all over the place that still is there. But you can see where the big chunks are missing, where it looks like someone just clawed them out and broke them apart. And you see the dust on the floor that was the wall.
So it's not the complete thing. There's still chunks taken out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I go up to him.
It.
I go up to him. Our ghost fiddler. And I say, would you be able to write this?
He says, it's here. If I just had, I could play it, and then we could be safe. And she's like, he doesn't eat, he doesn't drink. Just
Don't let him finish his work.
He's insane. He's lost his mind. You shouldn't listen to him.
We've met a lot of crazy people on this crazy adventure of ours.
It's true.
That's very valid.
No, I'm crazy for all I know.
She says, I will not help you in this endeavor. I will not help you to do this. I think that it is bad for him. This has been nothing but bad for him for these 5 years.
It's 5 years have been bad for all of France.
That I can agree.
The king was a mistake.
I go to pull out a piece of paper and quill and ink. Would he be able to do anything with it?
You go to hand it to him, and he seems to not be able to, like he just wants to play. You see, like he seems lost to it, like it's stuck in his head. He put it down once, and now he's like memorized it.
The notes on the wall, is there like a music staff to it where like I can tell what the notes are? Like the specific note is, or is it just more like
it's more like just random likeness. Like
okay, so like looking at it, I can't say that it goes A to E or anything like that.
Right.
We're not sure what octave it's at or anything.
Yeah, nothing so that like I could start writing at least down the parts we know.
You don't think you could recreate this with what's left on the wall?
Okay.
So
I might as well just write down or like copy what we do have and like leave the gaps to it just so we can have something with us.
Pressi starts copying what's on the wall. He is really good at music.
Okay. You see,
And, like I'm sure Babon will probably help him since Babon can like see all.
You point out missing parts.
He hasn't done much of it lately, but you remember he's a really good singer.
So on our way here, Did we happen, like, we're in the theater district. Did we pass, like, any shops that might sell, like, instruments or something?
You did pass like a few shops. It is later at night now, so they'd be closed now.
Yeah.
But you also passed, I mean, any number of theaters that would have instruments in the orchestra probably stored in the buildings.
Okay.
Imagine being proficient with an accordion, and then having to play it on the accordion.
Bagpipes.
Bagpipes would actually probably fit this time.
Here's a harmonica. Do your best, sir.
Oh, I was about to go grab my harmonica. Never mind.
Start playing. Wait, this sounds like it's the end of the world as we know it. What?
So Melody is sitting with Bonaparte, and little Hieronymus has run back over to play with the dog, and so she's kind of playing like a game with him too, and they're sort of rolling, like there's this little ball that Hieronymus was playing with, and they roll it for Bonaparte, and he chases it through the room while you guys are doing this.
Aw.
Well, we have to get him an instrument, I guess.
Well, she still said she wasn't going to let us.
We don't need her permission.
That's true.
She puts her hands on her hips, looking at Dupois.
Dupois just sort of gives her a dirty look right back. It's like, really? We're 3 grown men. I don't think you can stop us.
Her eyes flicker to the fallen rolling pin under the table. And you see like her...
Try it.
Pressi kicks it further under the table.
She looks away. She seems somewhat defeated by this.
And he just looks at her like,
Try it.
She goes and sits on the edge of the bed, just looking from Dietrich back to little Hieronymus.
I'd rather have this not come to violence.
Be nice. But beating her up won't get us any closer.
You're thinking this might be sexism on Pressi's part because she's a beautiful lady?
No, I mean,
No.
Dupois doesn't really want to beat her up either.
Yeah.
They wouldn't accomplish anything for us.
Seems more like she just wants to protect her family, doesn't quite grasp the seriousness of everything.
To be fair, I don't think anybody ever would. Oh, the world's ending because
The guillotine has symbols on it, okay.
the dude whose life force is protected by skulls. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Man, I don't know. Kind of just want to like just grab the dude and jump out the window or something.
All we have to do is get him an instrument. I just don't know where we would get one. Could wait until morning and ask around. I have money, so could buy one.
I feel like one of us would have to go get the instrument, the other two stay here to keep an eye on her.
Hmm,
Because if we all leave, she's probably just going to book it.
that is reasonable.
Melody's like, I could stay with them.
All right, then
Sure.
Melody and I will stay.
All right. Can
And
do
we'll
it.
split the party.
Yeah.
Again. Are you
Fred
gonna...
and Daphne always stay behind.
So are you guys going to wait until morning, or are you going to try and procure something this evening?
AKA steal from a theater in the middle of the night.
How many days do we have again?
So you are... Today is the 5th. So you
Yeah.
basically have 2 more full days and then the 8th.
Oh. Okay. I think we can.
I feel
Wait.
like the way we've been rolling tonight, trying to break into a theater is not going to go well.
Yeah. And it would just bring attention we don't want on ourselves.
Exactly.
So best to lay low, I think.
So I guess we'll just wait until morning.
All right. So do you all stay in Celine and Dietrich's attic apartment for
Tiny
them.
apartment.
Awkwardly, yeah.
Yeah. My mom's probably gonna like sleep sitting up, leaning against the door, so that like if Celine tries to leave, she has to move him.
Pressi tries to hum the parts that he has written down to himself quietly.
So,
Almost like he's
Pressi-
practicing, at least as much as he can.
Cool. So do you want to roll me a performance check there, or the musical art? What's it? Arts, music for you?
Yeah, sure, but he's not trying to be loud or anything. He's not presenting it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you're kind of like it does not seem to be coming along very well whatsoever.
It's like going from the nice court ballroom kind of music I'd expect from this era to just like 80s, just like this dun 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 dun. You know, it's just like way too many ups and downs. I understand it.
All right, so you guys you rest for the evening. Celine seems a bit put off that you're staying, but Melody tries to kind of get her into conversation, sort of like calm her down a little bit.
Babin doesn't care anymore.
Paul doesn't give a shit either. He's just like,
while you guys are just sitting there, just suddenly like a cig just it ends up right in front of you, freshly lit, and you see me with a certain somebody's cigarette case.
Oh yeah.
He offers you each a cig.
I'll take a cig.
Okay.
The world's ending, might as well.
I was just thinking this area, it's like, oh, that's whatever.
Because you are staying, Celine does offer you what little hospitality they have. They don't seem to have much, but she does offer, like, they've got a little bit of bread. There's a little bit of wine, but not much. And you notice that Dietrich just stays like off by himself over on that side, just continuing to phantom play his musical selection. But you spend the evening, and the morning comes. You can hear the hustle and bustle of the streets start to pick up outside.
let's do this thing.
Euronymous, when you wake up, Dupois, like if you guys take turns. When you wake up, you see Euronymous has like curled up with Bonaparte.
Oh God!
He crawled out of the bed because they seem to share the same bed, the family, because it's just the one, and he crawled out and was with the dog.
Okay, I won't bother Bonaparte or
Bonaparte.
no.
Bonaparte.
Yeah, I won't bother them when we get up. I'll just I'll get ready and get my money and stuff.
Yeah, I'll get my money ready. We're going shop. Polish my pimp cane a little bit, make it look a little nicer.
I think you need to buy a new outfit to go with your cane.
I do. I'm gonna keep my eye out for some new fancy clothes.
I mean,
Like
you
a
go to the
nice-
theater, they probably have a few costumes.
Like a nice purple suit with the lapels out to like here. Nice cheetah skin hat.
Nothing says high class quality like cheetah skin.
Yep. Not even cheetah print, literal cheetah skin.
So, you know that you do need to be a little bit careful, both Dupois and Babin, as the area where you are, you're only a few blocks from Regalt's dwelling. So you know not to go. You know that you need to stay a little ways away from there, especially because you know he's usually home during the day.
Okay.
That's fine.
So, as Pressi and Melody stay behind to keep an eye on the family.
Well,
On.
Bye. Don't get beat up.
The two of you leave. Go down the stairs down to the first floor from the attic apartment. You come out onto the main road. Looking about, you can see most of the theaters are closed at this hour. You do see just up the block at the end the theater. What's the name? The Theater Fedot, which is the door is kind of boarded over and closed. It looks like it's been closed down permanently. But you know that the market is only a few blocks down the road heading toward the river. So you know you could probably go and find something at the market if you so chose.
I wonder if there's anything in the theater.
Shut
Like anything
down.
left behind.
It's possible.
Go in there and it's just a whole new Cthulhu adventure.
It's literally Cthulhu just chilling there. Hey
guys.
hi guys.
Hey guys, you found me.
So these bleachers are kind of small. He's got like one butt cheek on like 3.
It is like the whole theater is just too small, so he's all hunched over.
Yeah. I don't know. I think getting in there would draw attention as well.
True.
If we had to pull things off of doors.
I guess we could just head to the market then.
Or we could wait for one of the other theaters to open and see if we might not be able to buy something off someone there.
I feel like they wouldn't be willing to really part with their instruments at the theater, though.
Probably not, but we give him enough money. Maybe. Dupois not very attached to his money right now.
Well, we can try the market first. That'll probably like eat up time. By the time we get back, the theaters could be open.
All right.
So you both head up the road toward the river, heading for the market. While you're going along, do you guys want to roll me some spot hidden checks?
Sure, Jeanette.
I mean, that's up to you. So as you are moving along up the road, and you get within a couple blocks of the market, you, Babin, you keep like kind of keeping your eye out, glancing around.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and it could be just you're heading in the same direction, but there seems to be someone who is kind of staying a block or so behind the two of you as you proceed, sort of following along. You think you may have picked up a tail.
Babon's gonna lean over to Dupois. We're being followed. Don't look.
What should we do? Split up?
We could split up, go different directions.
Dupois just sort of gonna shake his head and he's gonna like turn off somewhere from where Babin is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of keeping the same path.
All right. So when you peel off Dupois, do you wait until there's more of like a crowd of people? And
Yeah.
do you want to try and slip away so that they don't see where you go?
Yeah, probably.
You want to roll me a stealth check?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh. So let's see. All right. So apparently, Dupois, you think that you have slipped your tail. Babin, you are not trying to lose them. So you see them hesitate for a minute when Dupois breaks off, and then as you continue on, you can see that they fall in to continue shadowing you.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna kind of keep going, like trying not to let whoever's following me know that I know they're there.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure like my cane is clicking as I go along.
All right. So where are you headed in the market? So you kind of walk into the market, and there's, there's farmers' carts that have come into the city. There's various, like, people selling just cloth. There's other people selling some clothing, and things like that. There's all different various types of carts here.
I'm gonna go to a clothing cart first. Just because I know this person's following me. So, like, I'm trying to make it look like I'm just looking at clothes and, like, not letting this person to kind of know what my actual motive is.
Okay.
So I kind of just make it look like I'm just shopping.
All right. So you're shopping. Dupois, you broke away. Where do you go?
I probably take a more circuitous route to the market, and then I'm going to look for like an instrument store, you know.
Okay, so why don't you roll me a spot check to see if you can find.
Is that just spot hidden? Okay. Man, freaking hiding there. Instrument stores.
Hey!
Shit, all right.
They can't hide anything from you, Dupois. So
Evidently not.
You poke around, and it takes a little doing because it's not like a big market for instruments and things like that. But you eventually do find someone who is sort of a craftsman who has various instruments, and you do see that they do have. They're not the greatest quality, but they do have a handful of these violins and things like that. There's some they do have some drums. It looks like that they made.
Okay. I'm gonna see about buying a violin then.
All right. So they tell you, they have them for a few sous, and then there's one or two nicer ones you can get for a couple livres.
Probably buy a nicer one. I mean, I have money, so.
Oh, you see the man. You say, "Oh yes, of course. This is the finest one that I have. This would cost you 3 sous, or I'm sorry, 3 livres."
Okay.
He seems surprised that you don't even want to barter with him. You just pay for it.
I need the instrument.
You see him, he looks happily at the money because it's, it seems like, his clothing seems like it was nice at one time, but it's like, you can tell it's kind of fraying. It's been a tough market with the things that have been going on in Paris and in France itself.
Thank you, monsieur.
Ah, you're very welcome. I hope that it makes beautiful music for you.
I'm sure it will.
Have a wonderful day.
Probably gives him a little bow and probably heads back out.
Okay. So you slip back into the crowd after buying your instrument and disappear. Meanwhile, Babin, you see that your tail, he's sort of like off in the crowd, like pretending. It seems like he's pretending to peruse some other carts, but still like looking.
Not good at stealth, but I'd probably try and like slip in with a crowd. Like if there's a marketplace, there's usually just like the sudden swell of a crowd, and then and then I also just kind of like I have an itch. I take my little finger hand and I'm just like towards where the guy is.
All right, so you slip into the crowd. Why don't you roll me a stealth check?
Oh, I'm so bad at these.
But that's what makes them so much fun.
I know. God,
all right,
no.
So you slip into the crowd and you mingle up amongst the people and start making your way back toward Dietrich's apartment.
I'd probably that's the end goal, but I'm just gonna kind of, because I'm probably not confident if I lost him or not, but just basically just start wandering aimlessly throughout the city, trying to just really just confuse the guy. He's kind of just where is the hell is this guy going?
Okay. Why don't you roll me a spot hidden roll?
Okay.
So you look around and you don't see him behind you as you look. And then he's gone, and then you mingle amongst the crowd and you don't see him for a while.
I mean, I still probably do that where I don't go straight there. I just kind of just start wandering around.
Okay.
See if I can just make this guy just be like, oh, he's just an idiot.
So while Babin is wandering, Dupois, what you have purchased the violin, what do you do?
Dupois probably head straight back.
Okay. So you head straight back for Zahn's apartment. And you don't seem to have any issues as you approach the building. No one stops you. No one seems to be following or giving chase to you.
Okay. I take the violin and I head upstairs with it.
All right. You've not seen Babone since you split up.
I'm sure he'll be all right. He's a big boy.
All right. Babone, how long do you wander around on your own?
Probably like a good half hour. I'm just trying to just make it look like I'm just strolling throughout the entire city. I'm not actually going anywhere.
All right. So, Pressi, Babone and Dupois had left. Did you want to do anything special while they're gone?
Not really.
Okay. So you just kind of keep guard while Melody plays with the little boy, and she seems to have calmed Celine down at least a little bit. Like she makes her a glass of tea, and is sitting and playing with Euronymous as Bonaparte sort of bounds around the room. He goes up to Dietrich, but Dietrich pays him no mind. Bonaparte eventually gets frustrated and comes back over to play with the little boy.
Oh.
Actually, I probably tried to go over these notes again.
Okay. Yeah, you try this, and you have such a like inkling for music, like you really do adore like music in itself. This just seems so wrong when you try to like hum it or like whistle it to yourself. Just the combination to you is just what, like you don't understand it. Why anybody would try to, like, it just does not sit well. No matter what octave you go to, it comes out so horrible.
I like think it's because it doesn't follow any rhythm or pattern. Like it's not even rolling the 3/5 step, which that alone is very difficult to do. This is probably like 67-75 step or something crazy.
Even the combination like of the notes to you seems just like chaotic and out of touch. So
why is there a single note on every line?
Am I supposed to play this long? You shake your head in frustration.
Are those 6 Fs? How loud am I supposed to play this? Wow.
And after maybe an hour or so, you hear footsteps coming up the stairs, and Dupois eventually comes to the door.
Oh, I see you get the violin. Where's Babone? Looking around back behind you.
We were being followed. We split up.
And you left him in the market?
It was a mutual decision. I went ahead, got the violin, as we needed it.
Well, I put my hand out for the violin.
Celine looks at the violin. Her eyes sort of narrow a little bit. She looks very unhappy.
Touch it. Don't you touch it, lady. I will break your fucking hands.
She stays where she is, kind of sitting at the edge of the bed, but her eyes like flit nervously toward Dietrich.
Okay. I'll hand the violin over to Pressi, and I'll turn to the lady and I'll say, if you don't want to be here, take your son and go.
She looks at you and she says, I am not leaving my husband. And Melody's like, should I I can take the child in the courtyard to play. If you'd rather.
Yeah, go take Bonaparte and go play.
She looks at Pressi. Is that all right, Christophe? I'll take him downstairs to the courtyard behind the building. We'll play fetch with the dog.
Are you sure you'd be fine?
I think so. The little boy seems to have taken to me. He seems all right. And Euronymous is like, Bonaparte, ball, Bonaparte, and you see him throw the ball, and the dog chases after it happily.
It's so cute.
Cthulhu can be cute.
Can't believe this.
It better not be, which it is right now, because that makes it even worse later. Bryce's just imagining some freaking like doom crap happening to the puppy child.
Oh, Lord.
Have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
That's about to happen here.
God damn it.
So Melody will go and collect the ball, and she walks over and she picks up Euronymous, and you see Celine. She looks, and she walks over and she says, "Baby, you'll be good for your new friend. You're going to play," and he's like, "Okay, Mama. I play with Bonaparte."
I give Bonaparte a big pat, and I tell him to be a good boy and watch out for Melody and the kid.
He licks you on the face, and he looks at them, and then he seems like remiss to like leave you. He sort of
Go on. I can take care of myself. You take care of them.
He gives a little bark, and he sort of runs after them as they go to the door, and she starts down the stairs.
Get off here, you stupid
you big dumb animal.
Just chucking rocks. Get out of here.
Pressi looks at Melody as long as he can. Like a parent the first time sending their kid to school.
I thought you said a parrot.
Parents send their kids to parent school too.
Right, I'm now a parrot. I'm crazy. Right. Okay.
So crazy. All right. She stops just before she goes out the door, and she blows you a kiss.
Oh.
And
he does his normal thing where he like catches it or whatever.
Oh my God.
Dupois just like fans the air.
She smiles, she ruffles like Euronymous' hair, and she turns and walks out the door with him, and you see Bonaparte run around her, and you hear him running down the stairs.
Pressi smiles for a brief moment, just seeing that she's happy, and turns back into the room. I assume like one of you guys, because you're like older soldier men, and you just see this romantic BS, and you just like fart or something.
Well, I'm not there, so.
True. Dupois probably just like, let's get this over with.
Celine looks around and says, "Where is your tall friend?"
Losing somebody. He can take care of himself.
She looks at Dietrich and she's like, "I think this is a terrible idea. You really think it's going to help my husband?"
I think it will help everyone, yes. Not just your husband. I think it will help your son. It will help you. It'll help Pressi here, the big idiot.
Hey.
Yeah, it's true. I'm an idiot too, to be fair. But we need this. We need your husband to play. And he's going to play whether you think it's a good idea or not.
Yeah, and you say that looking at her where you do see it looks like she's kind of gearing herself up to say no again.
Do it. It's not going to stop anything.
Try me.
Yeah.
It's as inevitable as our deaths. Do it.
So Pressi, you have the violin. If you want to give it to him, it's...
He looks at her questionably, takes a few steps forward, she hesitates for just a moment to see if how she reacts.
You see her kind of move toward Dietrich, like, but trying to, like, not in a threatening way, but like almost to put herself bodily between you and him, like protective. She seems like you look at her and you can see like she seems just terrified for him.
Mm.
He is oblivious.
Dupois probably just like plops down on the bed.
I pull some basketball maneuver where I like feint to the left and then I go to the right.
And you hand him the violin?
Yeah.
All right. You see her like look surprised, like her mouth falls open.
His sick moves. I couldn't see it.
It seems like for a second she thought that Pressi was reconsidering. And then he hands it off, and you see, like, you slip it into Dietrich's hands, and he sort of looks down at it. And you see her actually, like, she reaches to take it away from him.
I pull out my manticles and I attempt to bind her.
All right, so you are faster, so you can attempt to, because your
Why
dexterity
didn't
is
we
higher.
just do this from the beginning?
We wanted to give her a chance.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
To be
So
fair.
we're idiots. And we have morals. How dare we have morals? Golf Cthulhu.
Morals
All right,
are
unarmed?
always good. All right, so you can attempt to. So I'll let you do like your fighting brawl to try to manacle her before.
Oh,
Oof.
Oh,
my God.
So you go for the manacle, and she reaches past, and you don't get them on her. She attempts to take the violin out of the hands of her husband, but he sort of turns away with it, and she is unable to take it away in that instant. But you see that she's gonna, like, she kind of has him by the shoulder, and she's sort of reaching, still grabbing for it, as he is putting it up to his, like, he's trying to put it up to his chin, and she's pulling back on him, and he's trying to put the bow to it. Dupois, do you do anything?
Yeah, I probably bounce off the bed and I put my arms like around her neck and like try and pull her back off of him.
Oh, wow.
Make a fighting brawl.
Just
Okay.
suplex her.
Yeah, basically.
All right. So you grab hold and pull her back as
Oh, watch out, watch out.
What's this? It's Babin with a metal chair.
All right.
I'm just imagining him with a hand that's a metal chair now.
It's a metal chair. Yeah.
But it's still the size of a hand, so it's just this tiny metal chair.
It's like a little piece of doll furniture, basically, but he still just cracks.
All right. So you pull her back. So you go backward onto the bed where you were sitting, and now you have her in your arms. Pressi, you're sort of standing there, kind of a few steps from Dietrich. He sets the violin under his neck. He moves his fingers on the fretboard for a moment, and then he draws the bow across the violin. And a ripping and tearing note squeals out. It grows longer and louder, resonating in your ears, in your minds. As the note is drawn out, the room begins to grow dim around you. Dietrich pauses for just a second. There's just a beat where he pauses. And then his fingers start to fly on the fretboard. The bow starts to blur. His arm is just a blur of motion as he attacks the violin with impossible speed. Notes bursting through, note at note and note, note, note. It's so fast, impossible, you almost can't comprehend it. As though the instrument has 100 strings, and all of them are shrieking in agony.
Sorry.
So, meanwhile, as this is happening inside, so Babin, you had looped around, and you had tried to lose your tail before you started heading back. So you're coming up the street toward the apartment. Make a spot hidden check for me. All right. So you look around. You're certain that you have lost the tail as you're heading up, you're maybe a block from the apartment door. And then you see, coming around the opposite street corner, 5 men clad in black cloaks. They round the corner and go into the door at the base of the apartment building. One after the other.
Uh-oh.
How far away is that?
So you're just like a block away. And you kind of came around the corner. You did a stop. You kind of looked left, and right. You didn't see the guy tailing you anymore. And then when you turn back to go around and head up the street to the door, you see these cloaked figures coming around the corner and just entering the apartment building. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Are they
5.
are they the only ones who are? Is it kind of just us on the street, or is there like people about?
There's a few people like doing just their daily business, and you see some people at the other end of the road, like when they run past them, They sort of stop and look in surprise. One or two, like, shadier looking folks kind of turn and hurry up an alley and kind of bolt away.
You said there were 5?
Yes.
As the 5th one is about to, like, turn in, I'm going to shoot at him.
Ooh.
In hope that, like, even if I miss, these two will hear a gunshot and kind of suspect something's happening.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and shoot at him.
That sounds good.
We'll see how this goes.
All right, so because he does not see you, you can roll with an advantage die.
Okay. Oh my god.
All right, so you what are you using, your flintlock?
Yeah, can I luck this? I still have luck.
You do have luck.
The one is a 58. So.
Yeah, like I have 4 luck, so I can use 3 to make that a hit.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I hit him.
Excellent. So you get to do some damage to him.
Okay.
He did not see you coming.
Where do I click for the damage?
So it should be about halfway down the page. You should be able to see the damage for your flintlock.
Okay.
If you just want to do a regular roll, it'll roll the damage in the regular roll.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just do that. Oh.
Ooh, all right.
Why couldn't I have shot that?
Well, you know.
Damn.
All right, so you
7.
do set. So as the last one is running through the door, you fire off your flintlock and you hit him in like the side of his arm, and he slams against the door frame, and he turns and sees you, and he yells, "There, one of them!" And he kind of stumbles back out of the door, and the one that was running in front of him sort of looks like he's coming back out as well.
Okay.
But you don't see the other 3 coming out.
Okay.
So, let's see here. And you have a 50 for dexterity, right?
Correct.
Excellent. And they have a what? All right.
And I'm really hoping you guys heard a gunshot going off outside this building. You're both going to make listen checks and not hear anything.
Probably.
I don't
Wow.
know.
Thinking that
That note was really loud.
was.
So,
Try to fire a warning shot.
How do you make that violence sound like a gunshot? Weird.
So back upstairs, the room and the walls begin to crumble away around you.
Oh shit.
Well, yeah, we didn't do that. We're not here anymore.
The top of the roof looks like it's melting, almost like an iris opening. And you can see overhead, it looks like a starry night sky.
Okay, I know where we're at.
Great.
Zahn is playing furiously, creating a tornado of force. And you are sort of pinned where you fell. So you are pinned to the bed, Dupois, holding Celine. Pressi, you are kind of like, you sort of fall against the wall and you can feel like the pressure of it even as it crumbles around you. And you're kind of just like, the last remnants of it are the only thing holding you. And you look around, you see this abyss of stars around you. You guys can roll me listen checks.
Sure.
The one of us who can actually listen.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh.
Holy shit.
All right.
I'm not going to die in vain.
Or should I say, oh my Azathoth?
All right, let's see here. Cool. So the sounds that the violin is making burst your eardrums. And you're gonna take some damage.
Oh, so those weren't good listens. You wanted it not.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Oh, I thought you were
Damage.
listening for my gunshot. Never mind.
All right, so 2 hit points of damage as your eardrums burst and your ears start to bleed. Let's see, Celine will also make a listen check. Boop.
If she extremes.
So she appears unharmed by the sound of the music. All right, so the room begins to fill with the chill air of space. And suddenly there is no floor, there is no walls. You are simply floating in the emptiness. The demented musician is sort of hanging there in space, playing, as you all are now like staring terrified at him. Dupois, without even knowing it, your hands have sort of come free from around Celine, and you're both just sort of like there in this void. Meanwhile, outside, Babin.
Yeah.
These two police turn.
Just gonna kill the police in broad daylight. It's fine.
You have fired off your flintlock, and the people who remained, who didn't run when they first saw the secret police, you have terrified them, and they are bolting. You catch a glimpse in the small courtyard behind the apartment of Melody collecting up the little boy. Bonaparte, his hair raised on end, sort of standing in front of them protectively. And she's kind of ducking around the back, getting out of sight. One of these men draws his flintlock.
All right.
And he aims it down at you. So he is going to shoot at you. Now, you can... When he takes a shot, you can attempt to dodge, but if you do, you will not be able to take an action on your turn. So that is a choice you can make.
Yeah, I won't try to dodge it.
All right, so he's going to...
I imagine Babylon's kind of standing there, like, arms out, just like, let's go.
All right, so he fires his flintlock.
Fumble!
And it backfires. He takes the 2 points of damage from this as it backfires on him. And he, like, you see it, like, explode in his face. He kind of, like, falls away to the ground for a moment. The one who you shot looks down in surprise. He also pulls a flintlock and he points it at you. And he fires.
Bring it.
So he will shoot you.
Okay.
You take 3 points of damage from the shot. And then it is your turn. What do you want to do?
Okay, now the flintlocks take 4 rounds to reload.
They do.
I'm just going to chuck my flintlock. Reach behind me, pull out my axe, and kind of just like crack my neck, hit it in my hand. I'm just going to charge. I'm just going to cleave at the one I already shot.
Oh my.
Babon is done.
Yeah, all right.
He's just going balls to the wall on this. All right, let's see if I can hit this guy. No.
All right. He attempts to fight back as you run at him. So as you run at him, he abandons, like at first it looked like he was going to go for the reload, but he abandons that option. He's going to try to punch you as you come at him. So unarmed.
Oof.
So he'll punch you for 3 damage.
Punched you with the force of the bullet that he just shot at you. Damn.
I
know.
And the other one is trying to, like, it exploded in his eyes. He's struggling to see. He's going to actually take 2 disadvantage dice to his attack because he fumbled on the last one. So he swings blindly at you and misses completely as he does so. But when he swings at you, you can fight back if you want to. And because he can't see, you will have an advantage die.
Am I still able to attack on my turn?
Yeah,
I just don't get how that works.
Yeah,
okay.
A dodge is like you're getting out of the way, but when you're in melee combat, you can try to fight back.
Yeah, I'm going to swing my axe around and try and get him too.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
All right, so you swing around and you cleave into him with your axe. Let's see if he...
Like right into the stomach is probably where I was aiming at.
Let's see if he is able to stay up or if he goes down. All right, so he doubles over in pain and he is bleeding profusely, but he does not pass out.
I bet he wishes he had.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does. All right, so then upstairs... So the room filled with the coldness of space, the stars all around you. the rushing blur of wings as an unseen thing rushes toward you. You suddenly see the stars start to blink out, one, another, until the sky turns to infinite blackness around you. Night yawns everywhere. And then out of nowhere, these shapes sort of come flying in, and you hear shrieks as you see these men in black cloaks who have appeared from nowhere into this dark black space. And as they do, you see their legs go up and out from under them, and they claw at nothing. There's nothing to grab. There's nothing to hold. And you hear them shriek in terror as 1, 2, 3, they're whipped up and into the darkness, and they disappear upward. And then, Dupois, you hear a scream to your left, and you turn to see Celine, her feet flipping upward and away as if gravity has reversed on her, and she is yanked upward, shrieking as this happens.
Bye.
Wow.
Dupois just waves.
Nothing I can do about it.
Bye, bitch.
Zahn
Okay.
plays and plays deep staccato notes that blast from his disintegrating violin. They punch,
Oh my god.
They punch into the psyches of you both as you are left frozen in place listening to this music. You see that life on Earth is just an accident. There is no righteous order. It's all chaos. It's all chaos, you know. And as this cacophony of noise fills the room, you both hear this laughter. Like, it gets louder and louder and louder before you realize that it's both of you laughing hysterically, out of control. So you guys can both roll me a sanity check.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. Let's just roll my little sanity check here. Yay.
Oh, God.
Oh.
All right, so
Awesome.
meanwhile, outside, we'll come back to
Hey,
this.
Jeanette, remember you said this was probably going to be the penultimate session? Live.
All right, so
There is no order in these things. It is all chaos.
meanwhile, outside in the street, the one police officer who you have now cut into his gut, he again tries to swing blindly up at you. So
This guy's determined. Damn.
Yes.
he's got penalty die. Boop. Oh
Cool.
man. All right,
Bow, bow,
so
bow,
he
bow.
swings. You can take another attack against him.
Oh, I'm going to. Trust and believe. Do I get advantage on this?
You do
again?
because he still can't see. His eyes are still
Okay.
singed from the flintlock. Oh,
Oh,
all right.
God.
You swing back around and you cut him down. He falls.
good.
The other one pulls out a cudgel.
After I cleave this one, I'm going to just like slowly turn to look at this one as kind of like a, do you want to do this?
Yeah, really.
He looks at you. He sees the other on the ground. He pulls a cudgel from inside his boot and he tries to swing at you. But he swings wide. Do you take an attack on him as he attacks you?
Oh, yeah, of course I am. I assume this one's not advantage. This
Nope,
is just straight.
This is straight.
Boom.
Oh,
12 damage.
Holy
you
shit.
cut down the second man with a, like, you just come off one, the other one tries to hit you, just grab hold of the cudgel and slice into him and cut him down too.
Can I like cut off his arm as like cruel justice
Sure. So
since I'm handless?
you're holding the arm where the cudgel was. As he starts to slump, you just take your axe and slice through the arm, and you're holding his severed arm in your hand. The one or two people who stayed to watch scream. They throw their hands up and they run.
Okay. Can I like do a very quick see if they have anything else on them, like any flintlocks they didn't shoot or something?
Sure, you quickly look through. The other one also has a cudgel, and they both have powder and shot for their flintlocks, but they both had fired the rounds that were in them. They
Okay.
only have one apiece.
I'm going to quickly retrieve my flintlock that I
Okay.
kind of just unceremoniously tossed, and I'm going to stand outside door of the building and just start reloading that flint. I'm basically just going to be a guard right now. Just start reloading my flintlock and just stand there covered in blood with my axe just waiting because I assume more are coming.
Excellent. All right, so upstairs.
Man, I wish I was having as much fun as you, man.
God damn.
I just like murdered those two.
Seriously, all I just hear was the Duke Nukem thing, and I just heard like a dun 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 dun.
All right, so you both failed your sanity rolls, correct?
Yeah. Sure did.
Sanity, what's that?
Holy crap!
Holy fuck.
All right, so amazingly enough, you only both will lose 5 points of
You
sanity.
both could have lost all your sanity.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Well, I guess we get to suffer a little bit longer, right?
Yeah, Jeanette gets to torture us just a little bit more.
All right.
So, you both wake up, both lying on the floor of the attic apartment. Your ears are bleeding. You look around. The apartment is in shambles. Though largely as it was, the walls intact, the ceiling intact, the floors, all the important pieces of the structure are there. You can see that there are scratch marks that go up the walls to the ceiling where the roof connects to the ceiling. Deep gouge marks, as if somebody clawed desperately, trying to stop themselves from being ripped out of the room. You realize that this is where the men and even Celine were ripped away into the black. Because as you look around, Celine is nowhere to be seen. You see Dietrich lying on the ground, face down. He doesn't appear to be moving.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Pressi probably like slowly gets up. I assume this takes us a while to get up. Probably have some crazy tinnitus going on. And he goes to the door. I don't know if you can hear what I'm saying over the ringing, because I assume we got like some crazy ringing going on in our ears. If I can hear anything.
I mean, our eardrums popped.
He's like,
So
I need to get, I'm getting some air. As he probably stumbles down the stairs.
Okay.
Not because of physical strength, of course.
okay.
So Pressi stumbles from the room.
He just wants to get out of there.
Dupois, what are you
blame him.
doing?
Dupois probably just sits there for a minute and like just sort of like wipes his face. Like, what the fuck just happened? And then he'll sort of look around at like the scratch marks and the dude possibly dead. And we saw the dudes in the black coats, and like I assume we recognized that they were secret police. So Dupois is suddenly like, oh shit, we should probably go. So then he gets up and he like stumbles out of the room too.
You don't check him?
Fuck no, I don't, dude, I'm out.
Okay.
So as you're stumbling away, your feet crunch on something, Dupois. You look down and you see the shattered pieces of the violin. You can see one hand from Dietrich that was like kind of sticking out, and the fingertips look like they're completely blackened.
Oh.
And you realize that you can see as you're moving away from him, it looks like the neck of the violin is impaled through like his neck.
Oh. Okay. Well, thank you, sir. Sorry.
And you leave the apartment?
Yeah.
We
All
just orphaned a kid.
Meanwhile, Melody's like, yay, wee.
Oh no, Melody's like, oh shit, the crazy one just shot somebody in the street.
She collected the kid and the dog, and she was like,
You just fucking chop 2 people up.
I just like eviscerated 2 people.
He's got his middle finger hand, and he's got his axe still with blood all over it, and he's just sharpening it, slowly whittling.
The street is surprisingly empty.
Whittling the cane.
I wouldn't go on that street either.
That's
You
fair.
would probably just like walk around the corner, see the bodies, and just turn right back around.
Nope. Go a long way back home.
When Pressi gets downstairs, he probably walks like he's in a trance, looking at like something in the distance.
Yeah, so you are shaken, like physically and emotionally just shaken.
I look like the guy in Reefer Madness, probably,
Possibly.
if you've ever seen that old movie.
I almost suspect, like, as Dupois is like going on the stairs, he has to like hold himself against the wall so he doesn't like tumble down.
Mhm.
He's just like,
Yeah,
God, I wish I had something to drink.
yeah. You find like no matter the number of years you spent Dupois drinking and stumbling home drunk, you are. This is the most you've ever struggled. Like your equilibrium is so completely off. Like you miss a couple steps. Like Pressi, you're getting down to the bottom and you hear. It's hard to hear it, but you hear this dull like thump, 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 somewhere up above. As Dupois is trying to maneuver the steps, and he is just like missing like steps at a time, and he falls down. But Pressi, you get down to the first floor, and you move to the front door. You open the door to the street.
Uh-huh.
Babon, what are you doing as the door to the apartment opens?
I assume I would have like heard them coming since they're not being very like.
No,
Sure.
we're
Well, make a listen check because you do have issues with hearing.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't wait for you guys. Oh, I can't hear a thing. Oh no, what a nightmare.
beyond critical. -1.
No.
Yeah, so you actually don't hear them coming. So the door opening behind you surprises you.
I'd probably just whip around with the axe like ready to go. I don't think I would swing yet.
That would be freaking funny, though.
That would be funny, but yeah.
It would, but like he knows that like the people in black went in, but he's not sure who would be coming out. So I think he would hesitate a moment before.
Yeah. I mean, it's like an apartment building. So
Yeah.
it could be anybody.
So
He was more concerned about keeping people out, not keeping people in.
We didn't go into detail for it, but this is probably not the first time you've done this. We've all been to war.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like I assume I somehow just found a cigarette somewhere and I've just been smoking it.
The one I gave you earlier that you didn't smoke.
Yep.
So, Babon, the door opens and you have your axe up and you see Pressi. His like clothes are disheveled. They have like dust bunnies on them. He's out of sorts. Like his shirt where it was tucked in when you left here, it's untucked. And you see like blood has like trails from where the blood has run down on either side of his head. His hair is completely discombobulated. His eyes are probably wide, somewhat, like the pupils a bit dilated, bloodshot, and he is pale. And Pressi, you see Babon standing with his axe in the air. He is covered in blood, and there are two slumped forms lying in the street just outside the apartment door. And there's also, where'd you put the severed hand?
I think I just kind of dropped it.
There's a severed hand holding a cudgel at the base of the stairs of the apartment building. And this is what you see when the door opens.
Are they in the way when I'm like walking forward?
They're
No, we
sort
were kind of in the street.
Yeah, they're kind of in the street.
It was like a street fight, but I won.
I don't think it was a fight.
No.
But Pressi probably doesn't even really acknowledge it at all. He just walks straight out there, looking like he's looking at something a mile away. And he goes to do the movie thing where you go to pull out the cigarette, but he's just shaking so much you can't light it. And he goes, "Oh, hey, glad you made it."
Yeah, good to see you too. Like just realizing he's not even like he's just Babon's not going to draw attention to it. It's just kind of wait for it to click. Depressy, whenever he kind of like comes back to reality, it's just like, hey, there are 2 dead bodies in the street, and my friend is covered in blood that may or may not be his own.
It'll probably be a few minutes. I'm assuming our third compatriot will be downstairs before that.
Make another listen roll, Babon.
Watch me get shot across the street.
So you are facing Pressi, who has walked out into the street, when you are startled by someone else exiting the building as Dupois makes it down the stairs and comes out behind you.
I probably don't react because I assume if Pressi came out fine, Dupois probably fine as well. Well, fine.
Yeah, you look back and normally...
Because I imagine if like Dupois died or something, Pressi would be a little more...
Well,
I hope so.
You see Dupois, and you've seen Dupois on a number of benders. Like, you've collected him from bars. You've collected him from alleys behind bars in your time together serving. He comes out, his hair, which is normally pulled back, his hair is like down around his shoulders. He looks completely disheveled. He also is like no color in his face. And he seems to be like struggling to keep his balance, almost like he has had far too much to drink. But you know, when Dupois drinks, he usually is more stable than when he doesn't.
Yeah, really.
So Babon's just kind of look back at both of them, go, so what happened to you two? Still puffing his cigarette.
We heard the song.
Oh, cool. How was it?
I hope that violin didn't cost too much. As he says, just probably as more not morning person in the morning, just kind of like monotony, just blankly just goes to stare over. Oh, well, that's a shame. He didn't say anything else.
Yeah, I mean.
But I was just gonna. So now what?
Suddenly, he just snaps back to reality. I mean, he already went go with the gravity, but now he's back to reality. He's like, Melody, and he goes to turn around and try to find her.
And Babon's gonna look and go, the girl is what brings him back, not.
So last you were told she was going to be in the courtyard behind the apartment building.
I like to think the dismembered hand coincidentally just landed on my boot, and I just like kicked it off and just kept going.
All right, so Pressi runs around the side of the house to go to the apartment building's courtyard to find Melody, leaving Babon and Dupois standing in front of the apartment. Dupois, you're starting to take in the scene. You see the 2 dead cloaked bodies. You see the severed arm, the cudgel still in the grasp.
Glad you got away.
Can't say the same for these 2 over here.
3 of them came inside too. They're dead. Or gone.
Yeah.
Something. We should probably go.
Yeah, probably.
Go and finish this shit.
I think I have an idea on what we need to do.
All right.
We'll wait with Pressi to get his thoughts on it.
Find somewhere safer before we talk.
Mm-hmm.
So Pressi, you round the building, you go into the courtyard, and you can make a spot hidden check for me.
Boy. Oh boy.
You look around and you don't see Melody, the boy, and the dog.
He probably actually does panic. He probably goes like, Melody, and he's like looking around. Think about it. This guy is just like in shambles. He already has crazy eyes on him. He just comes around the corner in this courtyard where there's no one there and just like screaming her name.
After you scream it once, and then you don't hear her right away because your ears are so bad, but then you hear, Pressi, Christophe! And you see her emerging from, like, hiding in, like, a corner behind some crates. And you hear a little bark from Bonaparte. And she's holding Euronymous, like she's got him kind of cupped in her arms. And she's like, we're here. We hid when the gunshots sounded in the street.
Oh, thank goodness you're okay.
The little one looks at you and he goes, Mama?
We gotta go.
She looks at you and she, like, kind of pats his head and she's like, do we take him back upstairs and then we leave?
No, we don't.
All right. She says, we're gonna go for a walk, little one. And she looks at you, like, questioning eyes, and she's like, Pressi, what happened? And she touches the side of your head, and she's like, you're hurt. What happened?
If I can, I'm gonna cover the kid's ears.
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs, kid.
And then, even then, I say quietly to her, they didn't make it.
What? Was it were they shot?
I'm actually debating if Pressi would lie to her or not.
That is a good question.
I think at this point, he would. So, yes. The child doesn't need to see that.
She looks at you and she says, no child should see that, no. We will take good care of him.
Yeah.
She says, we should go. The gunshots were very loud. I can't imagine that the police won't be here soon.
I mean, yeah. Let's go. He just wants to, I just want to get out of here.
And the little one goes, Bonaparte. And the dog will run after you. They round the so they come back around the building where you two, Dupois and Babin.
You probably should not bring it back to where the bodies are.
I was gonna say Dupois probably starts heading back after Pressi after he runs off. You know.
Okay, so you actually, because the courtyard's around the corner.
Yeah.
So you both go around the corner and leave the bodies in the street in the front.
I'm taking them with us.
And as we go, Babin's gonna flick his cigarette at the bodies.
Actually, Dupois would probably take like the flintlocks that are on the ground and like any powder and stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
You do see that the one flintlock backfired.
It exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's there's the other one though that you can pocket and take with you.
Okay.
So you guys pick that up and you round the corner as Pressi and Melody are coming out from the courtyard entrance with the little boy, and Bonaparte runs up to you, Dupois, and he kind of jumps up, puts his paws at your waist, and he's kind of trying to like lick at your face.
I give him like a half-hearted pet and just sort of like push him back down onto the ground. It's like, we gotta go.
He runs around your legs and you're still kind of unsteady. He seems to take note, and so he like stays on one side of you, and like when you sort of lean, he kind of bumps up against you to try to keep you up. So he's keeping he's keeping an eye on you. So
such a good boy.
He loves his Dupois.
His bestest boy.
So, go ahead.
Where do we go next?
I was thinking probably the graveyard again. That seems to have served us well as a hidey hole.
Somewhere where we can talk in private.
I look over at Melody and the 2-year-old child in her arms.
Yeah.
Hey, Scrappy Doo. Kid with the gift. He's part of the gang now. He's gonna have to deal with this.
He just pees on Pressi. Puppy power.
Puppy powers.
Why do we keep comparing this to Scooby-Doo? Why?
Because it just entered my head because I'm like, oh great, now we have Scrappy Doo with us.
So Mystery Incorporated did go very Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah,
True.
we jump into our van and drive off.
Jinkies.
All
All right, so you guys head back. Why don't you all roll me some stealth rolls as you abandon the apartment of Dietrich Zahn and Celine Bassett?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Dude.
no.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Oh
I almost
God.
fumbled.
Only one of us.
Hang on, let's...
That's not good.
The one covered in blood is the stealthy one.
Yeah, Dupois probably a fucking mess right
They'll
now.
destroy us all to make it happen. Destroy us all.
All right,
Destroy us
so-
all.
So Dupois, you are stumbling. So Bonaparte is like now like physically like he sort of grabs on like to your hand in his teeth real lightly, and he is like guiding you as you're like really struggling. Pressi, you are also having a very hard time. Like you sort of kind of almost not blackout, but you kind of like have these moments where you sort of lose focus. So Melody like comes up, she holds Euronymous on one arm, and she kind of puts her arm around your waist to kind of guide you along. And she looks at Babin and says, you should lead the way, and we will make sure that they don't fall behind.
Okay, and I'll just take the lead.
And you do kind of straggle out like a little bit, like you're not really in like a tight group. Because you're struggling so much. It takes you a little longer to kind of make your way back to this area behind the monastery, but you do eventually make it. When you get there, Dupois and Pressi, you are both sort of overcome. You kind of need to sit down as you're winded and like just completely sort of you feel like you've been awake for days.
Pressi probably just lays down on his stomach, arms and legs spread out.
Melody will set down Euronymous and give him the ball to sort of roll to Bonaparte, and she sits and kind of like just kind of pats at the back of your head. It's all right. You'll be okay. A few minutes go by, and you hear from the shadows, "You've returned."
Barely.
You hear muffled in the grass. We should have brought that hand.
And you see the golden eyes of the ghoul kind of appear in the darkness of the shadows.
Yeah, I kind of cut off somebody's hand. His whole arm actually.
You hear this like, did you bring it?
Unfortunately, no.
It would have been nice. I am a bit hungry, but that is all right.
Still muffled from the grass. His hand just pops up, like elbow still on the ground, but the arm pops up, and he goes to point at Babin and says, "Probably could have used it as a replacement."
I just kind of looked down at my middle finger hand and pointed towards you. I like this one.
The ghoul like comes more fully out, and the little boy like kind of like looks like surprised and a little startled, and he runs back over to where Melody is. He sort of throws himself on the back of Pressi. So Pressi, you kind of like, oh, and he's like looking back around Melody at the ghoul, a little bit terrified. So she just sort of like turns him away and is patting the back of his head. It's all right. The ghoul looks at you all, one after the other. What happened? What's wrong with them?
Well, if I had to guess, I'm assuming they heard the song.
What time of day is it?
It was morning, so it's literally like only probably around lunchtime at this point.
Okay.
Okay, regardless, Pressi's going to flip over onto his back, and he's like, "We were up there," as he points straight up.
You've heard the music. then all that is left is to decide who will be the one.
Mm.
He looks from one to the other of you.
Dupois kind of just like lifts himself off the ground as best he can, and he says, I'll do it.
Ah. Yes. You know what must be done then. You know.
I think so. I think so.
I have heard you said there was a man with you who helped you escape a few days ago. You
That was
were hiding.
Sergeant?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sergeant, yes.
I have heard news about him.
Oh.
Well, probably not good news, the way our luck's been going.
No, he was arrested that day and put into jail. They took him before the committee. They decided to take his head. He is being held until the ceremony. Last night, someone tried to break him out. They were unsuccessful.
Upon
Was it
hearing that,
you?
Pressi sits up.
Do you know who it was?
A man and a woman.
I wonder if it was... I have to look at their names. Hugel and Beaumain. The rest of our little crew.
They are also in jail.
Oh, fuck.
No, of course they are.
God damn it.
They will go before the committee. I can only assume what their fate will be.
There needs to be a sacrifice, right?
Yes.
What if I turn myself in
Melody
head-
says, no!
and my head goes on the chopping block? Would that count as a sacrifice?
The ghoul's like,
Um,
yes, one of you must be a martyr. And Melody is like, no.
Babylon's going to just kind of nod and go, I had a guess that whoever was a martyr had to be guillotined. Because he heard the music, and with the symbols, it would send your soul straight to this guy, and that's probably how it gets stopped.
The ghoul
Yeah.
says, when someone who hears the music is a martyr and gives their life, the monster will be able to be killed. In the instant that this happens, you must be prepared to strike him and take him.
Oh, we have to fight him? Shit.
Uh-oh. Well, okay. Yeah, hearing that, Dupois just sort of leans over Pressi and just like, no. And he sort of motions with his head over to Bonaparte and I totally forgot her name, Melody, and the little boy. And he just, yeah. He just sort of says, you have them to look after. I don't have anything. I'm already half dead anyway. I'll do it. You and Babon kill the doctor.
Well, so be it. As I go to stand up, probably shakily.
Melody will help too.
I'll probably help. Yeah. I'm like almost falling over myself.
I probably pull you down.
Babylon's going to go over and pick them both up.
So Dupois leans down.
You're still covered in blood and everything, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I'm not washing this shit off ever.
He pulls Pressi up off the ground. He starts to overbalance backward. Melody tries to like balance, and then Babon comes up and sort of like man hugs both of you. to keep you both on your feet.
He's the bear of the group.
Still holding my axe and still covered in blood. I'm just wrapped around you guys.
Group hug.
Group hug, guys.
So the ghoul watches this, and then you hear a crunching sound as he is chewing on what looks like the upper leg of something. And he says, "What will you do? How will you do this now?"
Do we know where the guillotine stuff happens?
So you guys know that the guillotine, you know where the plaza is, you know where the guillotine is. You also know that Regault has been attending the beheadings as like that's what he does during when they have them. He goes and he will attend the beheadings. So you do know where this happens. You also know that the committee, those arrested by the police, are put in prison, and then they go before the committee, and the committee decides. And lately, it has been, beheading.
Should we try to do this before our friends get beheaded, or we could somehow bust them out? They'd be helpful, but I don't know how we can do that.
I don't either.
I don't.
Would I know from how well do we know the plaza? Like would I know the buildings nearby?
Yeah, you're very familiar with the area.
Do I feel like there'd be a good sniper spot?
You because you were with like the army, like you know that there would be, but you also know that there is a pretty good presence of people there, like security wise. So you think that you would have to be very careful not to get caught if you were to try to find a position in the plaza.
I was thinking like up in a window somewhere, like an attic window.
Like a book depository or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so you
Wow.
think...
Okay, we'll go there.
So you think you could find, if you were careful enough, you think you could slip in and find this place.
Enchant the bolt with magic.
Well, is it Regault we have to hit? Because the way the ghoul was talking, it's like whatever his name is going to appear. And then we strike.
Well, the monster is what the ghoul calls Regault, right?
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you... Sorry, I kind of spaced out. I thought you said the actual guy's name. I thought you said like Erasmus or what it was. Sorry.
Azathoth?
Yeah, sure.
Good old friend Azathoth.
Look, there's too many names. It's been a long day.
It's true. I almost wonder if you guys couldn't lure Regault somewhere else when it happens. But like it'd be really hard to like try and figure out timing with that.
We'd have to...
Do you think you'd be able to get him close to you when the time comes? As I look over at Dupois.
Maybe.
That should leave him wide open, right? He'd be up on the stage.
He would probably love to have one of us on the guillotine.
That's true. And if...
Might even want to skip the committee since we kind of piss him off enough.
If Hugel and the others are there, maybe they could help if they're up on the stage as well.
But then we'd have to be close enough that we could rush the stage. Well, I would at least have to be close enough to rush the stage.
That bone would be the most difficult thing because if Pressi was up sniping, that's easy.
Yeah,
but
I'd have to be near close enough to the stage that I could get there. If we do it this way.
If if you're able to blend into the crowd, it could work.
Good. I have a feeling I'm probably a little bit wanted right now.
Probably.
I have a feeling we all are.
Yeah.
You're wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I tip the top hat.
Nice.
I just
Nice hat. What?
I did kind of kill 2 secret police in broad daylight in the middle of a street. So
We kind of killed 3, maybe? I'm not sure what happened.
Would you be viewed as heroic if one of you turned traitor on the others and turned them in for their crimes against the state?
what if Pressi turns us in?
Oh.
That would get me on this stage.
It would.
And I feel like Regal would want to make a spectacle, so he may do all 5 of us at the same time.
Why wouldn't he just use me too? I turn you in, and he just like, okay, well, you're going too. You'll just go first.
I mean, we wouldn't turn ourselves into him. Him specifically. We just find some police or something.
The ghoul says, what if you went to the committee, straight to the committee, to Robosphere himself? Circumvent the monster.
Do we want to, me and Dupois, turn ourselves in? And then Pressi just lays low and keeps an eye out.
I almost think if we did that...
If we did that, there's a chance you could get beheaded before.
I almost think if we did do that, Babon, you might just turn me in.
I could do that.
That way, you could bring your axe, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
If we're both imprisoned, you couldn't do that. It would just be fists.
Yeah.
Melody, looking from one to the other, says, if need be, I could bring your axe to the plaza.
Ooh. Could
do that.
Because I will not go far from Christophe.
So...
Okay.
No one will suspect a woman with her child. And she looks down at Euronymous playing with the puppy.
Yeah, because if I turn you in, if they then turn on me, at least you and I are together. We don't have to worry about Pressi getting swept up in it too.
That is a very good point. Okay.
I think sounds like that's the most solid plan we got. Go straight to the committee.
I think we should do that. And actually, I'll give my flintlocks to Melody as well.
All right, she will put them in her bag that she has.
Just
I would probably give mine and my axe to her, just because I don't think I can hide my flintlock in any way. So, and then this way, if they don't try to kill me too, I could just come back and get my stuff.
What was I going to say? Oh well. Never mind.
Sounds like we've got our plan.
We got a plan.
A plan.
We got a plan.
It's
a heck of a lot better than no plan.
better than no plan. Exactly.
There's nothing else we could really do.
Kind of have to do this. So.
Yeah.
So,
Either that or I just kill you right now. Jokingly. Like, I want to say that jokingly.
when you say it
works. I don't think the joke works at the certain situation.
Yeah.
Hey, this is gallows humor. We're all military people. We know how this is.
The ghoul looks startled when you say that you might kill him now, and he's, no, you know the dream. He must die on the blade.
But I didn't say which blade, and I just started trying to, like, pull on my axe.
The ghoul is, like, pulling at your arm, like, no.
I'm joking. You know?
Knows me needs it's
Precious.
Precious.
All right, so when should we turn ourselves in is the question.
Sooner the better.
I think because we want to do it before the festival.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because we can head this off before then. It'd be better.
Yeah.
So, Melody and I will go off, and you two go to the council.
Yeah.
Mm.
'Cause I feel like if one or both of us are going to get beheaded, you're going to find out. Like, I feel like Regal would be kind of boasting a little bit about it almost.
If they need any more evidence to hasten your sentence, I take my hat off and put it on his head. Take it, give it to him. This might suffice.
Okay.
I kind of take a little bit of blood off my face, kind of smear it a little bit on him.
Also, you two will need this more than me, as I hand you the really nice hand engraved cigarette case with X amount of cigarettes still inside.
Yep.
Oh, and I have a manticles and a key. You
do.
You wanna cuff him?
That may. I think so.
I'm literally handing you everything I just stole off of him.
Yeah. Like, because if I cuff him and I'm all bloody, it can almost look like he was trying to fight me off.
It's true.
Yeah.
You put blood on my knuckles.
Yeah. I'll just kind of like, I don't know whose blood at this point, just kind of bloody him up a little bit.
They don't have DNA.
It could be two dead secret police people. Who knows?
All right. So, Pressi, you're going to take Melody, the boy, and the dog, and you're going to go to ground.
I guess.
Melody,
we don't have the clothes or the time for it, but I'd like to have a nice last dinner with everybody. But none of us have the clothes. We have the money. We just don't have the clothes or the time to get them.
Actually, Dupois will probably give Pressi all of his money that he has on him.
Oh, God. Why?
He doesn't need it. And he probably shakes Pressi's hand and says, "It's been good to serve with you."
Oh.
Pressi probably does have, like, the movie War, like cry.
The lone manly tear.
As he just equally firmly shakes your hand.
All right. Put the manacles on.
I cuff him up.
Let's do this.
Melody says, is there no one you need to say farewell to, Dupois?
I pull up Bonaparte.
Oh, don't make us go through this.
You're the one that wants to sacrifice yourself.
So you're like holding Bonaparte up?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I'll probably look at him in his sad puppy eyes for a little bit. And I was like, and I'll lean over and give him a little kiss on the nose.
No.
Be a good boy. And I'll pet him.
He licks your face. He's like, and the little one's like, Papapar.
You take good care of him.
Puppy.
Okay?
Puppy. He pets him too. And then the little boy kind of puts his hand on your cheek too. Like, pets your cheek. Dupois.
Dupois probably just sort of like turns and is just like, let's do this. Trying to hide that he has tears in his eyes.
All right, so Pressi and Melody, you turn away. Bonaparte sort of like looks back, confused, as Dupois and Babin, you head off in the other direction.
No.
The ghoul says, "Bonne chance, mon ami."
And I give him a nod.
Probably as we start parting, Babin's gonna like turn back and look at Erasmus. That's the boy. Euronymous. He's gonna turn back and look at Euronymous and kind of have the flashback of Cesar, because Cesar was an orphan and he adopted him, so he's kind of having like that moment there. as he starts leading Dupois off, because Babin has no idea if he's going to make it out of this.
Little one's like, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
I just wave back.
And then you guys part ways as Dupois and Babin, you head toward the committee offices to turn yourselves in.
Well, I'm turning him in.
Yes.
I don't think... Yeah.
So you make your way through the street, and you quickly get to the offices of the committee.
Mm-hmm.
There are police who see you, and they come up and they halt you. What do you do? Halt!
I have an enemy of the state here. I'm turning him in.
We have orders to arrest someone, both of you who of your description. What do you mean he is the enemy of the state? We're told that you both are enemies of the state.
I'm gonna spit on the guard, and I'm gonna say, "Long live the king."
He slaps you across the face, and the other one looks at you, Babin.
You take 5 damage and die.
Oh,
Someone go get Pressi now.
oh, god damn it.
No, he doesn't hit you hard enough to do any physical damage. He just backhands your insolence.
That'd be hilarious.
What do you mean that you are not, that he is the enemy, when we have been told to find you both?
I found him butchering 2 policemen in the street. Took all my strength to pull him off of them. Look at me. And I kind of let it be seen how I'm pretty beat the crap up. So.
Why don't you? You can roll me whatever's better for you, be it fast talk, persuasion, or
Would he have advantage if I just sort of pull against him and I'm just like, I should have killed you too, you son of a fucking revolutionary, and just all sorts of bad language,
derogatory things.
Yeah, he would have advantage on his roll.
Okay, it's fast talk or persuade.
Yeah,
I have the same score in both. It looks like so. I'm gonna go with fast talks because this seems a little more fast talky.
So they seem like they're not completely convinced by this. Why don't we let the prosecutor decide for himself?
Fine.
Inside both of you. So they.
And I kind of roughly pull Dupois with me.
The one that he spit on will kind of help. He kind of insinuates himself between the two of you and kind of pushes him along. The other one gets in behind you as they lead you into the building. And they ask someone, they say, "Get Prosecutor Francois. Bring him here." And they bring you into a private meeting room and sit you both down. They put Dupois kind of at the table in the center. They have you in a chair off to one side, and they wait, and you kind of wait for a few minutes before the door opens, and this tall, well-dressed man walks in. What is the situation? And the guard looks and says, "We have these 2 men. They both match the description of men we were looking for." And he points at Babin in the back and says, "This one claims that he has collected the other. That this one," and he points at Dupois, who is sitting in the chair closest, "murdered 2 of the police in the street. Where was this murdered? Where did it occur?"
Dupois probably
near the Theatre Fadou.
Before Babin can even finish, Dupois probably just "I would have killed even more of you so-called police. You're not police. Nothing in this country is as it should be because you overthrew the king, the person that God chose. Yes, I said God."
He says, "Quiet you!" And he looks at Babon and says, we are in fact missing multiple men who arrived at the residence in that area earlier today. You say we found 2 bodies. Where are the other 3 men?
I don't know. By the time I arrived on the scene, he would hacked the arm off of one of them. I just did what I could to pull him off. He got in some lucky shots on me too.
He looks you up and down. He looks at Dupois more closely. He says, "Where are the other 3 men?"
Me? You ask me?
Yeah, he's looking right at you. Where are they? If you killed the other 2, where did you do with the 3 that went with them?
I just sort of smile at him and just sort of, wouldn't you like to know?
Maybe we'll go easier on you if you tell us.
I don't want you to go easy, you revolutionary scum. I'll die for my country.
He looks at the 2 guards and he says, "Take this one and lock him up. I will deal with him later. I want to talk to the other one." And they grab you under the arms and they kind of like start to lead you out.
Okay.
And Babon, you see Dupois get dragged away and out the door. And then this prosecutor shuts the door and says, "Sit." And he points at the chair that Dupois was just in.
I sit.
He sits down across from you and looks at you closely. "So, you bring this man here. He was, if I got the information correct, were you not comrades in arms? Did you not fight together many years ago?"
That was many years ago.
"You were a good soldier in your time, were you not?"
Yeah, and I have the scars to prove it, and I kind of hold up my wooden hand.
You flip him off.
Yeah, unintentionally this time. Like, he's really just trying to, like, go along with it.
"You are such a patriot for your country that your son now serves. If you are not the man I think you are. César Babon's father."
Correct. He left. I think it was yesterday or this morning. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like yesterday.
Yes, he went off just the other day to his post, fulfilling the duty that he should for this country.
You will denounce your comrade in a written statement, will you not?
Denounce that monarchist scumbag? Of course.
He stands up and goes to the door. He opens it. He says something to somebody outside the door. A few minutes pass and they come back and they bring, somebody comes in and they have like parchment and they write down your statement if you'll give it.
Yeah.
So they record it as you give it. And he turns and slides it over to you when they're done. He says, "Read it." And you read it over.
Is it pretty much what I said?
Yeah, he basically took it down word for word.
Yeah.
You will sign this, you knowingly sending this man who you once served to his death?
That's not the man I served with. And I take the quill and sign.
So he watches you sign it. He takes it back, reads it through. He initials it at the bottom and hands it to the clerk. "We will move his case up to tomorrow. It will go forward very quickly." He looks at you, Babon. He says, "You will have an escort for the night and are expected in court tomorrow to give testimony.
All right.
As long as your testimony continues and matches in the same as what you have given us here, you will be exonerated of all charges."
Thank you.
"Thank you." And he walks you to the door where there is an escort waiting to take you home.
Okay.
Me
I
and-
don't even know. Do I even have a home?
Yeah, you and Cesar have a house.
Okay, I didn't know if we still had that or not. Okay.
Yep. No, you still
Yep.
lived in Paris up to present day.
All right.
In fact, that's where you went to see Cesar when you
Right. Yep.
brought him into all the drama. So yeah, you were given an escort that will escort you back to your home for the evening and will bring you to court in the morning. Meanwhile, Dupois, you are dragged off to a cell. You are walked up to through this dark, dank corridor down through into the lower levels. They take you and they unlock a cell door and they shove you in and lock the door behind you. And then they stroll away. And you can hear other people in the cells around you. And then you hear a voice from across the hall in the shadows say, "Oh no, I thought that you would have escaped, Dupois." And you see a couple days unshaven sergeant across the hall from you. And as you look around, in a couple cells down from you, you recognize Beaumains. And across the hall from him, you see Hugel. And Beaumains says, "So it is all of us together again, except what has happened to Pressi and Babin."
They're stopping the end of the world.
And the sergeant just sits across from you and nods. And I think that's a good place to stop. So,
Woo!
Jesus.
how you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Doing great, yeah.
I was doing fine up until Dupois said goodbye to Bonaparte, and I was like,
Wow.
no, not the puppy.
I knew that would kill me, but it would kill me more if he never got to say goodbye.
I know.
That's true.
It was bittersweet, but I'm like, not the puppy.
Your puppy.
The puppy.
Oh my.
All the fun.
Good thing the puppy wasn't there. We might have had to use
I
that
know.
bed.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Thank you, Melody.
I never thought I'd heard Dupois Dylan even say thank you, Melody.
Yeah, really.
That's outstanding. Look how far we've come, you guys. All right. So, all right. Holy crap. I did not read Zoom chat, and there's a whole Zoom chat.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it on Zoom just so I can watch the chat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to reread that. That's great.
I know how to comment.
That's awesome. All right. So, why don't we... so that is where we will stop for tonight for the game. We'll be back in 2 weeks for the final session, final chapter
Final
of
show.
this adventure, and we'll see what the end result is. So why don't we go around and do some plugs? Why don't we start with Scott?
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is a fun roller coaster ride, right? Right, plugs. So you can follow me on Twitter. I think it's my tag's right below my name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I have pinned on my page my Twitch schedule because I got 3 different D&D games going on my channel. So if you want to see some cool, radical stuff from Retroverse on Friday nights, coming back with Adventures of Tranquil Sea, where the group is going back into the Tomb of Annihilation to
Nice.
kill Mr. Fox. So that'll be fun.
Wow.
And then our Dragon Heist games on Sunday mornings.
Cool.
All of those on my Twitch channel, Scotty_H00D.
Excellent. Jamey, what do you got going on?
In 2 weeks minus a day on this channel, we're continuing the Forge of Fury, where we may have to fight a dragon. I don't know why we're all so set on fighting this dragon out of nowhere. It's none of our business. We did what we were supposed to do. But yeah, I almost died last time. Got pretty close. And that's it. And that is at 4:30 Eastern time on this channel.
Yes, indeed. And Dylan, what's up?
Hi, I got a few things. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Laughing Dragon Inn here on Twitch, I'm going to be in an Extra Life charity game of D&D. And then also on that channel at 5 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday, I'm doing another one.
Wow.
We're going to be playing 5th level characters, I believe. So you can come watch that. Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time on the Greyhawk channel, I'm in Secrets of Castle Greyhawk, where we met Baba Yaga in her dancing hut and entered a place called the Barrow Maze, which evidently has followers of Orcus in it.
Nice.
And then Thursday evening on Power Score RPG here on Twitch, as well as the official D&D channel, we do Waffle Talk, where we talk about dice camera action. So you can come see that too. And then Saturday is Dragon Heist, which is amazing. So
That's true.
come watch it.
Yeah, yep. So Dragon Heist at 3 p.m. on Saturday is myself, Scott, Dylan, and our friend Katie with Power Score RPG doing the DMing for us. And it's an awesome game. And then I'm also in this coming Saturday night at 9 p.m. on It's Ramrod Dudes Twitch. We play Rapanathik. It's myself, Power Score RPG, and a couple other players, Shauna and Bree, I believe, is the other halfling.
Yeah.
And so we just entered this ancient dungeon. We're probably all gonna die. It's always good. And otherwise, yeah, that's what we have going on. So we'll be back in 2 weeks for the final episode of this. And then we'll let you know what's coming up after that, because I think we're going to do some more Cthulhu, change up some of the players a little bit. I've traumatized a few of them, maybe. So, I mean, it's understandable. But yeah, so thanks everybody who watched on Twitch, who watches on video on demand, and who watches on YouTube when Jeanette catches up on her backlog and gets everything up on YouTube. It's coming along, slow but sure. So yeah, and I think that's it. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Don't lose your head.